settles in. The bats get going. Tavian Josenberger hits a bomb to right field, and that was fun to beat the Vols last night. You've got another game, too, today at 6 o'clock. Softball team's in action. I forgot Rose this weekend. I mean, there's there is enough stuff going on this campus right now where it's going to be difficult to get around for a little bit.
It's going to be a busy weekend, isn't it? They got a whole bunch of things going on. The weather, is holding off, at least for now. We'll see what happens this afternoon, but settle in. It's going to be a long day.
We are on our River Valley numbers. If you want to give us a call in, it is 877-377-6963. Again, 877-377-6963. If you want to jump on here with Zach Arns, Christian Johnston, and myself. And I'm excited about today. Listen, do I think we're going to get all the insight, every little detail we need to give us a better idea on what we're going to see in 2023? Absolutely not. But this will be something you'll get to see KJ a little bit, Jacoby Criswell, some of the other quarterbacks, and then particularly the wide receivers, Zach, that we don't know a ton about just because we haven't got a chance to see them because much of them are transfers. A lot of guys didn't play a lot last year.
It's the first time for a lot of guys to get into sort of a game situation in the stadium playing. It's a practice, but it's not a practice. And it'll be the first time, you get some live action and some things where, you can't stop the play in the middle and go and correct. And, if you get beat, you give up 6. And it'll be, you talk about the wide receivers. That was a concern last year. It's a concern this year. The things that you do know, the offensive line is coming back almost intact. You got KJ Jefferson. You got a stable of running backs. So this is going to be a downhill football team for sure come the fall. I'm interested in seeing what the new defense is going to look like. How are they going to, how are they going to line up? Is it going to be a 4-2? Is it going to be a 4-3? How are they going to adjust to a new defense coordinator? They got to find themselves some defensive ends. They got to be able to get some pass rush, generate some rush from either the down 3 or the down 4. Otherwise, we're right back in the same spot. Who are we playing at linebacker? Everybody's gone. 2 years ago, they had a glutton of linebackers, experienced guys. Now, all of a sudden, they don't. And you're relying basically on 2, maybe 3 guys with some game experience, and then everybody else is young guys, talented, but you don't know what you're going to get.
There's a lot of youth. Arkansas, I believe, is 12th on returning experiences in the SEC in terms of the amount of players that played minutes last year. So that is relatively low. You think about 2 years ago, the amount of super seniors you had. Zach just referenced last year in the linebackers that you, again, brought in Drew Sanders, had some other guys. But this is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of young men. This game upcoming in about 2 hours, and I say game, that's the very loosest term when I say game.
Hey, well, we talked about it all during the fall. The biggest thing they were missing last year was that experience, and they relied on that in that 9-win season, the Outback season. They had guys who had played a lot of football, and a lot of guys who had seen everything, knew it before it was coming. They just had to go make the play. Last year, you had a lot of inexperienced guys who hadn't had a lot of game action. You had a lot of confusion, busts in the secondary, busts at the linebacker spot. It happens. And, you wound up with some injuries, and now you see a bit of a youth movement coming along. They've got guys who've played. I'm excited to see what Pupal looks like. That's a fun guy to watch. That's, your downhill thumper, if you will. Mm-hmm. Can they get sideline to sideline? Can they cover guys out of the backfield? That's, that was the problem they had last year before. Back end, I think, is in great shape. They're really experienced in the back end. Guys back there have played a lot of football. So if I feel good about that defensively. Other than that, I want to see new scheme and see, you can't draw too many conclusions today, but you can start to form some ideas on what it's going to look like.
Sorry, go
ahead. And the other part is I want to see what Dan Enos' offense looks like. I know what it looked like at Maryland. I call him Fredo. Fredo Tagovailoa and KJ are two different type quarterbacks. Fredo, reference to the Godfather, the younger brother.
Oh, okay.
The Godfather would be Tua. But, I mean, they're different type quarterbacks. And I don't think, KJ is a guy that's going to – you don't want him taking too many shots this fall. Obviously, he's not going to take any today. I want to see what his mechanics look like. Can he throw the deep ball accurately? Can he throw the medium passes accurately?
Yeah.
Can he get outside the numbers accurately? Those are things that, on all the scouting reports when you look at, those are the things that he needs to work on.
I think KJ, the 10 to 20 or 10 to 25, I'm not really worried about the deep ball as much, and then some of the really, really intermediate passes. And I think with Dan Enos, the offense, what you're talking about is this is going to be a slower pace this year. Sure. Now, is it going to be slow as molasses? Absolutely not, but they're definitely going to take some more time than Kendall Briles. Now, Kendall Briles wasn't running and gunning like Josh Heupel is in Knoxville, but it was going pretty fast. So the adjustment to that for the offensive line, KJ Jefferson, you think about a new center. He's Clay was telling us earlier this week that KJ is going to be one that's actually calling out the mic. Last year, Ricky Stromberg did that. So there's little intricacies
You're also going to see KJ under center at points.
Yeah.
And that's totally different than what he's done the last, basically through his entire career. I was looking at his PFF grades, and, grades are grades. But, I mean, he has progressed significantly every single year. He's now in the 90s, which is excellent, is where you want him. Can he take that next step and become an elite guy? Because he's going to have to be. He's going to have to lead the offense, not just from a schematic standpoint, but he's got to make those young receivers good. They're not going to be able to get open on their own all the time, and he's got to be able to throw them open. That was something he struggled with a little bit last year. But worst case scenario, you can always turn around and hand it to 5. That's never a bad option.
Yeah, it's a luxury, and not just Rocket Sanders. We saw last year when he wasn't able to continue in the Liberty Bowl that you've known you've had something in AJ Green and Rashad Dubinion, who seems to be really good in the screen game. But those two guys particularly
Don't
stepped
forget
up.
Dominique Johnson.
Yeah, what's his timeline? Is he?
At this point, who knows?
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, it's the spring. You don't want to put too much pressure on him to come back. That's a guy that he can give you a little something. My question is this: Rocket Sanders was recruited as an athlete/wide receiver, turned into a running back. Can you put him in the slot and maybe make him that that guy that can get separation in the slot, get you some yards on 3rd and 5 when you need it? Because clearly, the running back position is the strongest position you have on offense.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. The debate's over. And can you get 2 or 3 of those guys on the field at the same time? Because they are your best athletes.
This is Arkansas Game Day. Again, really appreciate Ag Up Equipment, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and Precision Overhead Door for being a part of this broadcast, not only the pregame but the postgame as well. Your point about Rocket Sanders stands out to me. 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa when Arkansas went toe-to-toe with Alabama and almost ended up beating those guys. You remember that one catch he had, the turnaround back of the end zone that KJ found him on? I mean, this kid is just a football player. Matt Jones, I love talking with Matt about football, not just because he was a tremendous quarterback and also had success in the NFL, but just listening to how he talks about either current players or former players, and he just talks about guys that are football players. Rocket Sanders, you can put him in any position on the field. Heck, he could probably play linebacker. Rocket's just a dude, and you're excited to have him back. He's going to be on the Doak Walker Award watch list. He's a preseason All-American in some cases. Him and Quinshawn Judkins are going to be first-team All-SEC. This is an exciting young man. Once again, you have a strong running back at the University of Arkansas.
You use him like you used Traylon Burks 2 years ago, which is get him the ball in space and just let him use his natural athletic ability. Whether you pitch it to him, hand it to him, or throw it to him, just get him the ball and let him go. If you can do that, it opens up other areas for other players, and those wide receivers are going to need to get separation. You don't want guys getting doubled up on the outside. If you've got one receiver that's beating people, you don't want them getting doubled up. If Rocket can be effective. That's the thing is playmakers and difference makers they're hard to find, especially in this league. And if you've got one, get them the ball as much as you can. And you've got one at the quarterback spot. You've definitely got one at the running back spot. You got to find one in the vertical passing game. And if you can do that, suddenly your offense is dangerous, and you can put up some points.
We're live this morning on ESPN Arkansas across our 4 ESPN stations. HitThatLine.com. We're also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So you can listen to us regardless if you're in our listening area or not on the radio. And then, of course, if you're driving in from whether it's the central part of the state, the northern part of the state, ESPN 99.5 is the Northwest Arkansas station when you get here to Fayetteville. It's not only Arkansas football in action today. Of course, the baseball team's playing. You got the softball team who shut out UAB. They're back in action later on today. Hunter Yurchek told us about the tennis team being in action. Volleyball team, I think, either had an expedition or has one. So there is so much going on campus right now at the University of Arkansas. All right, let's see this first text. First text from B.E. in Clarksville. Way too early today, boys. Well, 10 o'clock is pretty – I'm going to be honest, it's late for my standards.
You rolled in. You looked rough this morning, but you did bring tacos, so I did appreciate that.
You got it, man.
That was outstanding. So, yeah, it's a little early to talk football, but anytime you get a chance to talk football is a good day. And that's what this day's about, man. Spring football it's a practice. We're going. People are going to go watch a practice. That's what we're here for. But it's a chance to watch people fly around, make tackles, make catches, and you kind of get an idea, get yourself charged up for the fall. There's a whole bunch going on campus, of concerts and all that kind of fun stuff. And then you got softball and baseball later on today.
Yeah, it is going to be a big day. And again, if you've got any thoughts like BE does, feel free to text those in 877-377-6963 or call us then as well. Again, 877-377-6963. This is Arkansas Game Day with Zach Arns, Ty Richardson, Christian Johnston running the board. More to get to coming up.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Ag Up Equipment wants to be your partner with every outdoor project you want to complete. Ag Up is an official John Deere dealer. You can find them at agup.com. That's AGUP.com. 16 locations across Arkansas and Mississippi. Ag Up Equipment. We don't sell maybe, just ask Ricky Stromberg.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Autoglass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Autoglass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Autoglass a call. 782-4441.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Where do you go when you're ready to buy a vehicle? Platinum Auto Sales, your go-to dealership. Whether you just want to check out the inventory or are a serious buyer, they would love to hear from you. Check them out online at PlatinumAutoSale.com to view their current inventory or stop in at 4210 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Jason and his family are dedicated to great customer service and strive to be your go-to dealership. Platinum Auto Sales, 479-308-3221.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ gonna keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Got a text in here from Mason and Conway as we're live on Arkansas Game Day. Zach Arns, Ty Richardson, Christian Johnston, making sure we're on the air this morning. Again, it's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Mason text in, is it too early for a beer? Nope.
No, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, man.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's technically, think about it as tailgating whenever you start your drinking on actual Saturdays. And just
by now on a game day? Yeah, you're perfectly fine.
You're having
well within your rights.
You're having a mimosa or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. You said I looked a little rough this morning. Hadn't taken a shower just yet. I will say I did not.
It was the kind way of saying.
Okay, just being respectful.
Right.
To a certain, we're all about respect as coworkers here.
Absolutely. Still got the mark on your hand from wherever you went last night.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Solid.
that. So again,
solid.
Did not shower, but I actually took it easy, knowing that I would have to fully deliver, come through, and I'm going to do my best to do that next.
Before we get much further into this, it is I texted you as soon as it happened. You said, and I'm quoting here, this is about a month ago, that I knew absolutely nothing about college basketball.
Yeah.
And we hung a banner in here. This would be 2 years in a row I've won the bracket challenge, and just want to get your thoughts on that because you got out fast and then faded like a bad tan.
Well, I just think that honestly solidifies my thoughts on you originally because most of the time the bracket winner of any bracket challenge is the least likely basketball. Now,
but this is 2 in a row.
All you did, well, listen,
back-to-back.
A broken clock finds 6 o'clock twice a day, so or whatever hour. So if you do it for a third straight time, I will recant. I will pull back on that said statement.
I think it's a foregone conclusion I'm going to do that.
See, I don't think so. I
didn't just win this year. I rolled everybody.
You boat race?
I did.
Who is, you say Cement Head?
Yeah, that's Cement Head. He's the one that did the banners. He unrolled some toilet papers, which is on brand for what we do around here. And he put the wrong years on them. And we thought about, updating them. But no, that once again is on brand for what we do around here. We get the years wrong, but it does represent my back-to-back championships.
Well, speaking of basketball, plenty of news with Eric Musselman and the staff. Barry Dunning Jr. announced yesterday he's entering the transfer portal. You've got 4 transfers, and you're going to have to help me with this. Keon Menafield, the kid from Cincinnati, Tremont Mark from Houston.
Look at you.
And hold on. And then Temple Khalif Battle. Who's the young man that just committed from? And I say transferred. He's committed. He hadn't signed. The young man from Jeremiah Davenport
from
is
Cincinnati.
the young man from Cincinnati who's 4-year player as a Bearcat and now coming over. So 4 guys you've added. We know about Layden Blocker and Bay Fall coming in.
And then they had a visit over the past couple of days. Tyler Perry from North Texas, formerly of Harbor High School here in Springdale. Was on campus, got his photos taken in Razorback gear, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But right now, there's 13 players and 13 scholarships. It would appear that they are anticipating somebody else leaving the program if you're still out, contacting people in the portal.
Yeah, I did see Devo Davis last night. I did not go up to him and ask, "Hey, what are you doing with your future and your upcoming career, either at the U of A, the NBA, or somewhere else. But I'm really curious about his decision. And I was wondering, again, we'll come back to football in just a sec, but if Devontae decides to leave and not pursue a career professionally, he decides to move on from Arkansas and hit the portal, does that change fans' opinions of him? I think for some,
no,
you don't think so?
No,
even the slightest bit?
No. Devo cemented his legacy, or if you want to call it that, during the Kansas game. He'll be remembered fondly. Is he going to go down as a great? No, but he'll be remembered fondly for that game and some others during the regular season.
See, that's my thought. That's the opinion I've held, but I do wonder if that ends up happening, if there will be some fans, because you know how it is in this state. You're either a hog or you're a dog. And,
right.
And by dog, there's a much worse phrase that I could use there. But that's how people – you're either with us or against us. And for even some that were on the team and have transferred or whatever the case may be, that's just a viewpoint that some people have. Now, I know the college basketball and college sports have changed overall, but I would be curious if there would be some pushbacks from fans.
I don't think. Not with him.
Okay.
If there was a player who was here for a year – and it didn't go well. Yeah, maybe you have a different. Maybe you have B. Etex and Desi Sills. Desi was. He was Devo before Devo, and Desi left and went to Arkansas State and then on to Kansas State and had a great year this year with them. But nobody's going to point at Desi Sills and say that's a great Razorback. Devo's a little different. Devo's had some moments in the postseason that would certainly lend itself to just that sort of thinking. Is he going to go down as a great one? Absolutely not. He's not a top 50 player, but he's a good player that's going to be remembered fondly.
With 8 NCAA tournament wins under his belt. Not to say that that's concluded because we don't know what he's going to do, but that is a impressive stat. Devontae Davis, 8 NCAA tournament wins, every single one of them with Eric Musselman thus far. All right, let's look at Arkansas's I'm trying to think of how I want to frame this. So we have no idea 100% what the depth chart's going to look like. I think we'll get better insight later on today on who's going to go where. The mainstays at Rocket Sanders, KJ Jefferson. There were some people that I thought were 100% going to be starters, and I don't know if I feel that same way anymore, but there are some positions within the offensive line that have to get figured out. You lost so many different wide receivers and pass catchers from last season. The tight end is an intriguing position to me. We'll start there with Luke Haas as a true freshman, who's not the biggest kid by any means, but apparently he just has hands that are like sticky fingers, and you throw it anywhere near him, he's going to come down with the ball. I can't remember this, Zach. Did Hunter Henry start as a true freshman? I know he played.
Hunter Henry, I don't think started, but yes, he played. He was in packages. Here's the thing with Haz. Freshmen are notoriously schizophrenic when it comes to playing time. They'll play great one week. The week catches up with them. They have a bad week the next week. Also, as far as roster management goes, remember what happened last year? We had guys jumping in the portal after spring practice. Portal opens up.
Good point.
They'll add
a tight end.
They'll add some guys, I'm sure. I'm not saying this guy's available, but the starting left tackle at Oklahoma State jumped into the portal on Friday.
The starting left tackle?
Starting left tackle is in the portal.
Wow.
Today, if Arkansas has trouble blocking their defensive ends with the at the left tackle spot, that's probably a spot you're going to go shopping for. Who are you going to lose? Who's going to stay? Depth chart is going to be big after this is done. When they put out that final spring depth chart, there are going to be guys that are sitting in the third or fourth spots at certain position groups and say, you know what, I can go somewhere else and find playing time. So it's a lot of this is in flux. It'll be interesting to see kind of how they negotiate this. The one that I would be concerned about, quite honestly, is the running back room. You got 4 guys that could be number 1 running backs. Are they all willing to sit there and split time? So far, so good.
They were last year.
Yeah, they so far, so good. But, is somebody getting an itch that, hey, I should be the number 1 guy? Do I need to go somewhere else?
Yeah. It's difficult to navigate and figure that out as a head coach or an assistant coach for that matter. You think about the different positions, like, we got a really strong group. Next thing you know, one or two guys
one
transfer.
or two go and you're out the door.
It changes
But
that.
conversely, you add 1 or 2 guys out of the portal, And boom, you can improve a position group virtually overnight.
So Tank Booker, the defensive tackle from Maryland, commits earlier this week. 6'4", at least looks the part. We'll have to see if he can do it against SEC opponents. You're still, again, I think tight end is a position you're going to go after. I think safety. You mentioned the back end. I think cornerback, they're strong in. I'm not as confident in the safety position when you were talking about the back end earlier.
Here's the thing about the safety spot, and if you can get a corner that's physical enough and has the size, they can make the transition to safety a whole lot easier than a guy can make a transition from safety to corner. Much easier to go and play at that deep spot. You got guys like Hudson Clark, and I know everybody kind of rolls their eyes when you say Hudson Clark. He's been effective. Ladarius Bishop, Malik Chavis, McLaughlin. You talked about Lorando Johnson when we were sitting in the office. Quincy McAdoo. I mean, I just listed off 6 guys with significant playing time. You'll find a way to get 4 or 5 of those guys, maybe 6, on the field at the same time. If they're versatile enough to play several positions, you've got something. I know you got 2 guys that can play corner. McLaughlin and McAdoo can play the lockdown corner spots. Yeah. You separate them field and boundary, who's your better tackler, and then work yourself backwards. But you got a lot of experience back there, and I've heard Matt Jones talk about fixing the safety spot. Well, sometimes maybe the guys on your roster are the answer. You just got to coach them up a little bit.
Yeah, I like how you said the safety and corner aspect, because it is a little bit different when you, again, go from the back end to pressing and guarding the difficult wide receivers that you have to in this Southeastern Conference.
The toughest position is not your field and boundary corners. It's the slot corner. You got to have a guy there that can play man to man, because he's guarding the fastest guy that they have.
Yeah.
The fastest guy the offense has is going to play that slot. And if you're bad at the slot position, you're done. I mean, they will just pick you apart in this league and around the country if you're not good at that spot. So they've got to find a guy that is reliable enough to play that slot corner spot. And if you got guys in the back end that are good tacklers, won't get burned, won't get caught looking inside, they'll be good in the back end. I'm worried about the linebacker spot because there is no depth. You've got 2 guys with experience, and then that's it. The rest of them are guys that have not played. And can you get a pass rush? These are big questions. And, you start checking off, can they do this? If they do this, these are things that you've got to get answers to before you play that first game against Western Carolina.
877-377-6963. It's Arkansas Game Day. It's presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas, Mississippi. Visit them at agup.com. That's agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. We don't sell maybe at AgUp. Precision Overhead Door, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best Award, Garage Doors Done Right. And Harry Robinson Buick GMC, the used car and truck superstore. No one gives you more for your trade. Stop on by and see us at Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com. A lot more to react to. Again, we got football to talk about later on, a baseball game to react to from last night. I know there's been some basketball news as well. This is Arkansas Game Day.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Does your home internet leave a lot to be desired? Go to wowfastinternet.com and find out if you live in the coverage area for high-speed rural internet from World of Wireless.
Yeah, call us locally at 478-6616, 478-6616, or go to wowfastinternet.com. Enter your address for rural areas east of Fort Smith, east of Ozark in the Ozark area, east of Charleston, in Charleston, south of Greenwood. We can take care of you for high-speed, unlimited data, high-speed internet, but especially in the Paris area.
Now, I have to say, now in the city of Paris, you've got great great coverage in Logan County.
In and around Paris and also Altus and Denning. But you just got to go to the website, wowfastinternet.com. Get 50% off on the installation promotion, and we'll get you fast streaming internet that's good enough for gaming.
This is fiber to air, no data caps, no limits, and an affordable plan every month.
And a local company you can talk to.
877-305-3474 is the toll-free number, or you can stop in our showroom right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, or go to wowfastinternet.com.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's going to clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's going to mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's going to sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're looking for a brand new Ford, don't look any further than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 30 minutes from everywhere, an easy drive 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol, Troy. You got a great selection with great rebates from Ford.
Yes, definitely. You know, and a 30-minute drive is worth saving thousands of dollars. So come down here and see us. If you're looking for a new Ford, this is where you want to buy it. Our goal this month is to move every new vehicle that we have on the lot. I think we have 9 remaining right now, and we want to get them gone. We want to get them out of here. You know, and right now people are saying don't buy because interest rates are high. That's not the case here. You can get as low as 0.9% financing with Ford, and you can get your rebates on top of that special APR.
And you have a good variety in the units you have here on the ground.
Yes, you know, we've got F-150s, we've got Explorers, Edges, Bronco Sports, we've got one Escape, and we have one Bronco that's on its way here right now.
Your place for a brand new Ford, 23 Fords, is Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ gonna keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Tommy on YouTube asked a good question. Where can we watch the Arkansas Razorbacks play the spring game today?
Yeah,
and
we
found out the hard one.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's ESPN Plus. It's not on the SEC network. They've got baseball and softball all day. So you'll have to watch it on ESPN Plus. I did look it up. If you have an SEC, if the SEC network is part of your subscription, you should be able to log in, no problem. If you don't, then you're going to have to get creative.
It's a little bit of issue. So, Tommy, that's how you can do it. Of course, you can listen to it right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Zach and Derek, I know they're excited to do the postgame later on.
I am.
Today as well.
I don't know about him, but I am. It'll be. I'm anxious to see what this looks like. I mean, it's a spring game. It's a practice. I get it, but I mean, you can start to glean some things from what they've been working on in the off season, and they'll throw a little wrinkle that we haven't seen before. And if that's the case, great. I want to see what KJ's mechanics look like. How do the guys that were injured last year, do they have a defensive end that can get pressure consistently? I know they're raving about Torian Carter, but I want to see it. I want to, and if he is wreaking havoc in the backfield, well, then you got a problem at left tackle.
One of the things that I always pay attention to, and I'm not the only one to do this, is you're not going to hear negativity from coaches in the offseason leading up to the season. And so I try my best to balance what the local media think and what the national media think, because you're always going to hear more positivity from this state or anywhere else that covers a local football team. And then I listen to what national people think, and I try and find somewhere in the middle point. Now, after the spring game, there will be plenty of opinions locally and nationally as well as we get to SEC Media Days coming up to July. Where do you think Arkansas is going to be projected? Where are they?
In the West or overall?
In the West. They were third last year.
Yeah.
We know that didn't go according to plan.
We go off what we saw last. And who's got a starting quarterback coming back? I mean, the usual suspects will be there. Alabama will probably be voted in the one spot. Then it's probably going to be LSU. They are building a monster down there. Then it's probably going to be A&M. And then it's pick Auburn. Who knows? Auburn's got talent, and they finally got a coach that knows how to coach. The Mississippi schools, I think Mississippi State's going to take a step backwards.
I'm not an Arnett believer at all.
I'm not either. I think Kiffin's kind of in a weird spot because a lot of sizzle around him, very little substance. They haven't won anything. They haven't won any big games. They get housed a lot. So
last year
it's time for him to put up or shut up. I mean, yes, he's fun and everybody likes him and all that kind of stuff, but you got to start winning some games and you got to start beating some people. I would imagine the two Mississippis will be Mississippi, Auburn. Arkansas will probably wind up fourth. I mean, Auburn's probably going to be picked sixth, Mississippi State seventh, and then you flip-flop Mississippi, Arkansas, depending on who's voting.
877-377-6963. If you've got some thoughts on this upcoming season, spring game later on, baseball team as well, we'd love to get you in here. Cody on YouTube asking the question that we brought up a little bit earlier. Does the defensive line's ability to get pressure on the quarterback worry you at all? He feels like the aggressive defenses will show weaknesses in the secondary, safety primarily. And I think we saw last year it was feast or famine. Arkansas was either sacking the quarterback with, I believe, 42 sacks, a school record last year, or they were giving up a deep ball. They gave up the most passing yards of any Power 5 program in the country. Was it dead last overall?
Yeah, they were dead last
overall, and you can't have that this year.
But what cures a deep ball? Pressure.
Yeah, with four.
If you can't get pressure with 3 or 4, whatever base you play, if you can't get pressure with 3 or 4, you're in trouble. And consistent pressure. You're going to have to get creative, and that means bringing other bodies. And if you start bringing bodies, there are less bodies in the back end. That's the trade-off. Defensive ends, getting defensive ends are hard to find nowadays. In today's spread offenses, where everything's spread out and the ball's out of the quarterback's hands quickly, it's very, very difficult to get pressure. So how do you do it? How do you get pressure? If you're not going to be able to get pressure off the edge, you got to get pressure in the middle, guys who can collapse the pocket. That's the quickest way to the quarterbacks, straight line. That's where Arkansas has not been real good in the past few years. Is those two spots, the A and the B gap. Can you get pressure? If you have to bring linebackers, you have to bring safeties, or God forbid, corners. You're going to struggle, and you're going to give up passing yards, and that leads to other problems.
Well, 3 years ago, your best defensive lineman was probably Jonathan Marshall, and he was up the middle. But the last 2 years, I love John Ridgway, but those guys, him and Trey Williams, were not as impactful after the A&M game. They weren't as impactful following that. Trey and John were wrecking havoc those games, and then
but where did they play?
They
were interior.
Yeah,
they haven't had an edge rusher in years.
Well, you haven't had double-digit sacks since Jake Beckett, which I saw that stat earlier this week, and I was amazed. And not to say you haven't had good ones, because Trey Flowers, we know, is a really good player. He's an NFL player for a reason, but even it was surprising that he didn't get double-digit sacks, and you had Philon up the middle. They've got to have a guy, and I thought it was going to be Jordan Dominic, but instead he's playing for Deion Sanders in Boulder instead, which is kind of a bummer.
Too many times you see guys get swallowed up by offensive linemen, and all of a sudden, they're stalemated at the line of scrimmage. And then what do? They don't have guys that and again, in today's spread offenses, getting pressure off the edge is tough because the ball's gone so fast.
Yeah.
So you got to collapse the pocket from the middle, and you've got to have guys that can do it. And they're dealing with guys that have played some football. I mean, there's some young guys in here. I don't see an edge rusher. Trajan Jeffcoat, the guy, the transfer from Missouri, looks the part. We'll see. Torian Carter's another one. I know everybody, likes Landon Jackson. He 5-star that transferred from LSU. I'm not sold on him yet. Eric Gregory's probably your most productive lineman, and he plays on the interior, but he's not a pass rusher guy. He's a gap filler. I don't know if it's there yet. Cameron Ball's interesting, I think he's probably
He's
a guy
with that high ankle.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about today, but come Western Carolina, you need him in the middle of that, in the interior of your defense, not only to eat up blocks, but to collapse a pocket. I like him a lot. I like what he did last year.
Miss Lisa is screaming right now about her favorite player, and that would be Jashad Stewart, who's from her neck of the woods in Jonesboro, and you hope he can take a bigger step. I remember as a true freshman, he was shoved into that LSU game because a bunch of the Arkansas defensive lineman got COVID, and I think he's come a long way since then. I'm hoping he has a productive year. But
he's interesting because they're going – if you look at the guys they brought in after him, after Zach Williams and Jashad Stewart, okay, those are two guys that came in together. Zach Williams is 256. Jashad Stewart is 248 pounds.
Yeah.
They are small by defensive line standards. J.J. Hollingsworth, who just came in, is 271. Eric Gregory, 307. Kyle Thompson's 267. Landon Jackson, 269. I mean, you get the point.
Yeah.
They're smaller guys. So they're going to be situational guys. They're not going to be guys that you're going to play 3 downs. They're going to be guys that come in maybe on 3rd and long to try and get some of that pressure. Can they cover in space? Could they play another position if you had to? I don't know. But they're on the smaller side of things. And you don't want them in there on 1st and 10 against a team that runs the football a bunch because they'll just get pushed around. So they're situational guys. I mean, both have had moments, just not enough of them.
I think about that 2006 team and the defensive line, most notably, of course, Jamal Anderson, who we know was just absolutely destroying guys in 2006, originally a wide receiver and coming off. But that was one of the better defensive lines across the board that you had. And you've just got to be able to, again, get a cohesive unit there because what any offensive guru, any coach will tell you, it is so much more difficult to game plan against an opponent that can get pressure with 4 guys. Not that, again, Arkansas got pressure last year, but that was bringing Drew Sanders. That was bringing Chris Poopall. That was bringing Bumper Pool. That was bringing extra guys. They weren't necessarily getting pressure with just 4 down linemen or even 5 for that matter.
2 seconds. That's how you want to have somebody pressuring the quarterback within 2 seconds of the snap of the ball. If not, quarterback standing in the pocket, looking downfield, and what's happening? Guys are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. You're leaving your secondary on an island, and honestly, 3-4 seconds is about reasonable for a defensive back to cover a wide receiver in a dead sprint. So you got to get home, and if you blitz, you better get home, and you better get to the quarterback. If you get stonewalled on a blitz, you're in trouble. I like their back end. I just don't know about the front 6 or 7 right now. And man, it's April 15th. No reason for concern yet, but today will give you a pretty good idea what you're looking at from a schematic standpoint. Then you just got to go get the pieces and find out.
And you spoke to the fact that I think Arkansas has, with Tank Booker getting added earlier this week.
That's another piece that isn't going to play today.
Yeah, so you'll have 7 or 8 scholarships remaining, somewhere in that ballpark. But guys will be added, and you'll have guys that will leave as well. Something else to factor in when discussing this equation. This, again, is Arkansas Game Day. Call or text us at 877-377-6963. Last text before we go to break goes to Brad here in Fayetteville. What lots can you park in for the spring game? Got an email about that earlier this week. It's pretty much anywhere around the football stadium, it seems like, Zach.
Yeah, Lot 56 is always a safe bet. Out there, I forget what they call that park over there. Back when I was there was the International Dorm. I forget what they call that thing. But, just look, park in the center of campus if you're planning on going to different events. Lot 56 is kind of in the middle of everything. So, just find you a spot. Make sure the UAPD and the parking and transit guys don't find you, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, they let you know about that.
Oh yeah,
they
definitely will with a nice little bonus.
And gates open later on at 10. Or actually, excuse me, the gates are already open. I apologize, but you've got Hogfest going on right now as well. Plenty of stuff going on here in Fayetteville. When we return, let's go to offense. We've talked a lot of defense to this point. What's going on with guys outside of KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders? We'll touch on that when we return on Arkansas Game Day.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Ag Up Equipment wants to be your partner with every outdoor project you want to complete. Ag Up is an official John Deere dealer. You can find them at agup.com. That's AGUP.com. 16 locations across Arkansas and Mississippi.
Ag Up Equipment. We don't sell maybe. Just ask Ricky Stromberg.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Jimmy the Freak hanging out at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Beautiful weekend going on in the River Valley. A lot of stuff happening. Arkansas is hosting Tennessee. Huge baseball weekend for the Razorbacks. If you're in the market, you're looking for a car, this is a huge weekend for you, my friends, because not only do we have the selection, but we also have vehicles marked down where you can purchase them today and it not break your budget. If you're looking for a Discovery Sport Land Rover, I have one. If you're looking for Rogues, I have those as well. Nissan Altimas. Yeah, we have several of those to choose from. If you're in the market for Jeeps, you're looking for Honda Civics, I have all of that and more. How about Lexus? We have those in stock too. If you're looking for Mustang GTs, I have several pre-owned Mustang GTs to choose from. Come by and see us. I want to earn your business. We want your business. We want you to shop local. So come see us, shop us online, whatever it takes to earn your business. RandallFord.com, or simply stop by and see us Monday through Saturday at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ gonna keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Hey, welcome back into Arkansas Game Day. Let's talk some offense. I know you got a chance to see Isaiah Satania in person. Fayetteville Bulldog. Didn't get a chance to play much last year because of an injury. A lot of people, maybe it was right to think this, maybe it wasn't, but expected him to return punts. Now, we saw last season that there were some other guys that ended up doing that, including Bryce Stevens, who we know had one of the better returns with that punt return against Missouri State earlier this year. But this past year, I'm excited about him. I want to see him in space. I want to see him break that first tackle because he's got some wiggle and I love Traylon Burks. Everyone knows listening right now that I'm a Burksy guy, but he is more in the Joe Adams type of mold than Traylon was. Traylon was just going to throw you to the ground and then beat you straight line.
He's Drew Morgan. That's who he is. It's similar body type, similar sort of a package, if you will. In high school, he's a one-route guy. I mean, he's a speed guy. He's going to run by you versus technique, and that was one of the things you wanted to see last year. I think he had 2 catches for 12 yards last year and limited playing time. And honestly, if you talk about returning punts, returning kicks, man, if that's not fluid and natural for you, which Isaiah didn't do it a ton in high school. He returned some kickoffs, but not punts and things. That's not a guy you want back there unless he's 100% comfortable doing it and 100% healthy.
Yeah.
He's got Sam said he got bigger, he got stronger, he's getting separation, his technique's better, and that's what you want to hear. Now you got to go do it. I think there's people that expect him to be Joe Adams or Drew Morgan, and he's not there yet. It's going to take some time. Remember this, he's a track guy. And he's a track guy that plays football, and he's a good football player, and he was really, really good for Fayetteville High School, but he was also faster than everybody. Now everybody's as fast, and that's when the technique and all of those sorts of things come in. And the best thing that he can do, or the biggest thing for him, is KJ's got to be able to throw him open. You'll anticipate the break. If it's an out route, anticipate the break, throw him open. They can do that sort of stuff, and he you're right. I mean, he's going to be an integral part of what they do. He's that slot guy that they haven't had. You can pitch it to him. You can hand it to him. You can do whatever you want. Just get him in space, like you said, and see what he can do, because he does have good speed. He's got really, really good speed. Does he have elite SEC speed? We'll find out.
And Sam Pittman was talking about physicality, and he wasn't just talking about blocking, but what you just spoke to is important because people forget that in the SEC, you'll press, and you've got guys. The cornerback that always comes to mind for me is Derek Steenley, and I know that he didn't have necessarily the sophomore and junior as he did as a freshman. But, you've just got guys all over the field that are just as fast. You were talking about slot wide receivers earlier, and that's what Isaiah is going to be playing. You have to have a cornerback that is just as fast, just as physical, and that can throw people off the rhythm. Because if you get some of these guys in space, it's over. And you're hoping that Arkansas can find ways, that Danny Enos can find situations where it gets him open and gives him that little crease he needs to turn a 5-yard gain into a 50.
You talk about Stingley. Guys like Satania in high school were faster than everybody. Not necessarily bigger, but faster than everybody they played against. Now all of a sudden you got guys like Stingley who are bigger than you are, and they're as fast as you. So that's where technique comes in. And can you get that separation in a league like the SEC or the Big Ten? Half a step means everything. That means you're open.
Yeah.
And if you can get separation, get off the ball, there too many times, last year before, you'd see receivers just get stonewalled. And then all of a sudden the plays get blown up and KJ's running around, and that's the last thing you want. But if you can get off the ball and you can your technique is good and you can create just that hair of separation, it turns into an 8-9 yard gain and it's a first down and we're moving the chains.
Yeah. Still a lot to get to here on Arkansas Game Day. We got a question from our friend Bobby in Ashdown that we will get to coming up. We know Monteric Brown, his former what's Ashdown's mascot name? You know that?
Oh, come on.
You should know this.
Panthers?
Panthers, maybe.
Okay.
We will get to your question. I know you're excited about Shamar Easter, seeing him in a Razorback uniform. Didn't know if he was going to end up in Fayetteville. Luckily got him to sign as a Razorback. We'll touch on that and more coming up. Hour 2 of Arkansas Game Day is next.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren, the best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Arkansas Game Day.
Rocket into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas, 68 yards. Wow.
Arkansas Game Day is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Visit us at agup.com. That's AGUP.com. An official John Deere dealer. Precision Overhead Door. Serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the best award for garage doors done right. And by Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The used car and truck superstore. Nobody gives you more for your trade. Stop by and see us at Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
It is hour number 2 of Arkansas Game Day. Ty Richardson, Zach Arns, Christian Johnson making sure we're on air this morning. Appreciate everyone joining us today. Only an hour and about 20 minutes. They're supposed to get this thing going about 12:20 later this afternoon as the Razorbacks will get to their red-white spring game, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it. By the way, I want to give Zach credit. Before the break, I asked him who Ashdown's mascot was, and you were right, the Panthers. Bobby and Ashdown confirms what you just said. The reason he texted in is because he wants to know about Shamar Easter, who will not be playing today because, of course, he's not on campus, won't get here till, I guess, was it May or June, whatever they report or whatever, once their high school is done. But I know a lot of people were excited about Shamar, who you at one point thought you might lose with Dow Loggins going to South Carolina, but he is going to be an Arkansas Razorback.
He will, and he's an interesting prospect, and I use the word prospect because I don't think we know what coming from the 4A in the state of Arkansas is going to be. You know, the translation to the SEC is not good. There's going to be a large learning curve with him. This is a really young tight end room. I mean, you're talking 1, 2, 3 freshmen, a junior and a senior, and then add Easter as a true freshman. That's, you know, he's not an inline guy. Blocking's not his specialty. They're going to flex him out. Antonio Gates is the best.
He's
6'5". Yeah, they're going to split him out. He's 240 pounds. You don't want him banging around with defensive tackles or defensive ends. You know, can he block? Yes. You know, is he Nathan Backs? No. Are you going to line him up as an H-back? Probably not. So, you know, he's a mismatch. You get him matched up on a linebacker or safety. Yeah, you can do some things, but the learning curve is going to be steep. You know, guys that are that big, that are that good at lower levels, especially in Arkansas high school football, just usually use their physical abilities to beat guys. The technique is what you got to work on. And, you know, he's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody was after him. But it's going to take some time for him to get to, I think, to the point that you want him to.
You were telling me this morning, and I had forgotten about this, the Hog-Eye Marathon, something else going on here in Fayetteville. So, again, let me just roll down the list of what's going on here today and really overall this weekend. So you've got the Arkansas Spring Game coming up at 12. You've got Hogtown going on near Donald W. Rillins Razorback Stadium. You've got the softball team playing at 3. The tennis team's playing. The baseball team's playing tonight at 6. You've got Row Weekend going on, which is concerts on campus for Razorback students. You've got the Hog-Eye Marathon that happened this morning.
Yep.
I just got a text from a buddy. He ran it slightly over 2 hours. He was hoping to do it, not the full, the half. But I would love to be able to run half marathon, so give credit to him. And that was one of the reasons you said you didn't run this morning.
Yeah, I was going to go run the lake this morning, and everybody was they were gathering, and I'm like, no. There's also tomorrow, on campus, the university is basically opening the closet and getting rid of a bunch of their extra stuff. Shirts, shoes, the uniforms, all of they're cleaning out the closet. It's kind of a garage sale over
cool.
there. Bring a credit card because that's all they're taking. But that's going on tomorrow as well. So, yeah, a bunch of stuff going on. It's a really busy weekend. Weather, I see 30% chance of rain this afternoon. A little sprinkle here and there, cool it off, won't be too bad.
Tyler in Greenwood says Zach and Ty are the best ESPN Arkansas duo. Now, it was Ruskin and Richardson for a time during the NCAA tournament. I don't know what we would call us. We'd have to think of a clever duo nickname or a show that we could frame itself. But no, this has been a fun hour thus far.
I told you when you walked in, you were like, I don't know what we're going to talk. I can talk football all day long. Football is, and especially this kind of stuff where it's we're speculating, we're projecting, and you're looking at none of Arkansas's football issues coming out of the season, into the season have been solved. Why? Because we don't know anything yet. So you're going to get your first. This is kind of the first quiz of the football season. Let's see where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be the quarterback? I'm interested to see Jacoby Criswell.
Yeah,
this guy that got beat out twice at North Carolina,
but it was to
Sam Howell and Drake
May.
Okay, and still, you still got beat out twice. This is a 4-star.
Yeah.
Come home. Are you the guy we think you are? So, I'm interested to see what he does, and then, some of the younger quarterbacks as well. I love watching quarterbacks play. It's kind of a passion of mine. I like watching tape on them. I want to see Jacoby play. I saw him play in high school. I knew he was good in high school. Know he's got a live arm. I just want to see what he looks like out there, because KJ's not going to play very much today. And if he does, he's going to be in one of they'll put him in a bubble. Nobody will be able to touch him.
And the backup quarterback, Zach, is always the most talked about position, really, for the most part amongst fans. I say it's the most talked about. It's close to being the most popular.
When you don't have a definitive one, it is.
It's a popular position on the team. And I think for Jacoby, who's coming back from Chapel Hill, back to, again, Morrilton is where he played his high school ball. It's about 2 hours or so from Fayetteville, give or take. I think there's an excitement level for him getting to play it back in front of Razorback fans. And I know that the whole Chad Morris recruitment process there, because they elected to go with Chandler rather than Jacoby. At least that's what I've inferred.
Oh, no, that's a fact.
Okay.
I mean, they had chosen Chandler Morris over Criswell, and when Sam Pittman got the job, there just wasn't enough time to build a relationship. Mac Brown had his, he had his guy, and at the time, Drake May wasn't on campus. Sam Howell was projected to leave the year after, and the door was going to be open, and Howell stayed the extra year.
Yeah.
And the guy, let's not forget, Cade Fortin's still on the roster. Cade Renfro's still on the roster. Those are two guys that played a little bit last year. So where are they? And then you bring in the freshman Malachi Singleton.
Well, I don't know if I've told you this story. I think I've told Derek it. So when I was in Chapel Hill last year for the Super Regional, after Arkansas, I guess they played Sunday, and what would have been did they win games 1 and 2 or games? I think they get one.
Dude, you're really testing my memory now.
I believe they won games 1 and 2 because I think that they would have played on Monday if they would have lost, and would have been a do or die game if I remember that right. So they play on Sunday. So we're out on Saturday night. I'm with some Arkansas friends that live in North Carolina, and all of a sudden I see Jacoby across the bar. And he's with the basketball team. He's with Armando Baycott. He's with, I think Caleb Love was there, and you got all the Tar Heels there. And so I go, Jacoby, and me and my buddy, again, know who he is because we're Arkansas guys. And we're talking to him for a bunch of stuff, and he's kind of going over various things. I don't want to go too deep into our conversation, but I had an idea that there was potential for him to come back based on – because he had then, in Chapel Hill, as a Tar Heel, had glowing things to say about Sam Pittman. And I'm listening to him talk about this. I'm wondering, so if he doesn't play much this year, there's a chance for him. And, of course, now he's here. Now, is he going to play a lot this season? Probably not unless KJ gets injured, which, knock on wood, doesn't happen. But I do think, like you said, the quarterback room seems to be more solid. And Cape Forden played last year. That helps as well, I think.
Yeah, you've got some experience in there, and we don't know what Malachi Singleton's going to be. We see the tape on him. Criswell is, he's at least got playing experience, and that certainly helps. But, like you said, KJ's the clear one. Jacoby's probably the clear 2. And then after that, how does it shuffle out? I think Singleton's going to wind up being the 3 just because, he's a scholarship guy and you really want to get him some reps. But, Jacoby got beat by 2 NFL guys. Drake May's going to play in the NFL. Sam Howell's in the NFL. So, I want to see him play. He has not played a lot of football since he left here. He's going to play a lot of football this year. One thing that we do know is that KJ, from time to time will get dinged up. And if you've got a reliable number 2, having that security blanket is certainly going to be helpful.
Think about last year, y'all. You beat Liberty if you probably have a better backup quarterback because KJ wasn't himself that game. He didn't look like he'd throw the ball more than 20 yards. You beat LSU if you have reliable because the defense played out of their minds that game. I don't know if you beat Mississippi State, but that's that's 2 wins right there that you didn't get.
Yeah, it changes the balance of your season.
Yeah, changes the
in today's game where quarterbacks are, you're running the zone, read the wraps, your quarterback is taking shots. You've got to have a reliable number 2, otherwise you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, you were talking about the Andrew Hutchinson question, the last lefty quarterback since Barry Lundy. It would be John Rutledge, who you put off the intramural fields. Now, when I was in school, and there was a couple guys that we played at intramural. There's a kid named Austin Nolan who played at Fort Smith Southside, who beat us twice in the championship just because he was a stud. I don't know if he could have played at the U of A, but, there's some dudes that can sling it out there. Maybe not college level, but I've seen it firsthand. There's some guys that can then chuck it a little bit out there.
Yeah, absolutely there is. And it's, again, it's the most scrutinized position. It is it's the glamour position, and it's also the most important position. You've got to be good at quarterback. You're not going anywhere if you're not.
This is Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you this morning by Ag Up Equipment. Layden Pugh and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Visit agup.com. That's agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. We don't sell maybe at Ag Up. Layden is a huge football fan, so go by and see him at Ag Up Equipment. Precision Overhead Doors, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR. Or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best Award, Garage Doors Done Right. And Harry Robinson Buick GMC, the used car and truck superstore. Nobody gives you more for your trade. Stop by and see us at Exit 11 off 5540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com. Another thing that we were talking with Chuck about yesterday, just the excitement of getting to see Quinn, the excitement of getting to see Gino, and getting back into the radio.
Get the crew back together.
Get the squad back together, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's. It's always good. You get your boys back, and you watch a little football. There's nothing wrong with that on a Saturday afternoon. The weather's good. You just sit in Razorback Stadium and watch a game for a little bit. No, it's not a competitive game. They will keep score. Somebody's eating lobster and steaks tonight. Somebody's eating hot dogs. I think that's the way it usually goes. Winning team gets the good dinner. But it's competition. If you like football and you're just kind of biding your time before you go into the softball game or the baseball game, I'll go watch it. If I didn't have to do post game, I'd probably be sitting in the stands just watching KJ and whether his hips are open too much.
Yeah, I'm also excited to just kind of get back in Donald W. Riddle's Razorback Stadium. And so for some that don't have season tickets or only get to go 1 or 2 games a year, this is something you take advantage of because it's free. I know there's certain advantages if you have young children. They get to meet the players, get high fives, get autographs, maybe get some memorabilia. I think that's something that is a good family. I'm hoping now, Zach, I was looking again. We're in our studio. We haven't gone outside in an hour or so. Right now, it's sunny with clouds. 50% chance of rain at 12 here in Fayetteville through 4 o'clock today. I don't know if that's again. Fayetteville, Northwest Arkansas is a big place. I don't know if that's directly over Donald W., but just kind of the setup there factors in as well.
I'll tell you a fun story about my daughter went to Razor Fest in 2018.
Okay.
And Isaiah Nichols, I do play-by-play for Springdale High School. Isaiah Nichols from Springdale. It was his freshman season. And she went to Razor Fest to meet Isaiah. My daughter loves Isaiah to death. And she wound up meeting Dre Greenlaw. And my daughter and Dre Greenlaw kept in touch. Pictures, the whole. They became
Big
buddies.
Play Dre.
Yeah, they became friends and all this kind of stuff. And that's her favorite player. She loves Dre Greenlaw. And it started out with just seeing Dre down on the field, getting a picture, introducing herself. Isaiah introduced her to Dre, and they've kept up a friendship throughout. So you can go and make some memories there and meet your favorite Razorback.
I was a freshman going into my sophomore year of college, and I was at Fayetteville Athletic Club playing basketball with my buddy Jay Patel. And we're playing against this guy that's got Fayetteville on. He went to Fayetteville High School. I was like, yo, Jay, who is that? He's like, dude, that's Dre Greenlaw. He played safety at Fayetteville. And they just, I think, won a state championship or something. I'm watching this dude just come through the lane and throw down the most crazy dunks and get these alley-oops and stuff. I was like, I think he might find some time at Fayetteville. It's like, and he looks at me. He's like, yeah, he'll play. He'll play.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's
pretty dang. Yeah, he's having a nice career in the NFL.
Yeah, playing linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, we got plenty to get to here. Again, another about 45 minutes of Arkansas Game Day. If you want to call or text in, our number, 877-377-6963. We got a text from Kenny in Springdale we'll respond to coming up.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Ag Up Equipment wants to be your partner with every outdoor project you want to complete. Ag Up is an official John Deere dealer. You can find them at agup.com. That's AGUP.com. 16 locations across Arkansas and Mississippi. Ag Up Equipment. We don't sell maybe. Just ask Ricky Stromberg.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
The toms are a goblin, and spring turkey season is one of the best times of the year. Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to help you bag that big old long beard. Box calls, pot calls, mouth calls, decoys, camo clothing, vest, chairs, blinds, locator calls, snake boots, gloves, face masks, thermocells, and bug spray. If you need it in the turkey woods, Gelco Outdoors has it for you. Best of luck to all turkey hunters this spring. Shop local. Shop Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Call Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Remember sitting in math class thinking, I am never going to need to know the difference between fractions like 1/3 and 1/4. Well, you owe your 6th grade math teacher an apology. At Mock Legal Solutions, we are offering a special on all car wreck cases. Sign up in the months of April or May, and we will take 25% as our fee instead of the usual 1/3. Call us today, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. No win, no fee.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ going to keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Got a text in from Kenny in Springdale. It's Arkansas Game Day. Zach Arns, Ty Richardson, Christian Johnston here as well. The university sale tomorrow, he's asking where it's going to be.
Yeah, I was texting with Mike Neighbors about it. It's as he's using his words, not mine. It's leftover stuff, old stuff, T-shirts. There's no kids stuff. It'll be at Barnhill sometime tomorrow. I think 11. I think it starts up at 11.
I love retro stuff, so I actually might swing by.
Yeah, swing by, and if there's something there that interests you, go through. Coach went through. He took inventory of it. So.
Well, I was going to say, Coach, I mean, you obviously are listening right now, so if you want to take the good stuff and set it aside for Zach and myself, feel free to do that because we'll stop by your office and absolutely accumulate
he is the proprietor of all things odd Razorback collectibles. He is the guy.
I have some cool old Razorback shirts. One's got a huge rip, and I got a thrift store on Dixon, but it's got a huge rip. It's the bracket from '94, and then I have a '94 another championship shirt and something else. But there's definitely. I love old Razorback gear. I'll take it. Now I do have a question.
Yeah.
Kenny had a question for you. I have a question as well. Did you not cop the invite to the game yesterday? I mean, you and Derek got left out in the cold. Are you guys legally not allowed in the ballpark?
He's not. I haven't done anything. No, we don't exist. So yeah, and we were working, so it was fine.
Working.
We had a we had a good time yesterday. The show was fun yesterday. We got to hammer Tony Vitello. It was good.
I heard that audio clip several times. Speaking of getting hammered, I was getting hammered as well just for telling you the plans.
Well, it wasn't so much the plans. We kind of figured that was it was the way it was phrased. How'd it go, by the way?
One of my old girlfriends used to frame it like that. She would use that vulgarness, and it was funny because it came from her, and it just kind of passed along for that. It was fine.
Good.
I mean, again, I took it easy last night. Today, not so much. Once buddy just ran a half marathon, meeting some other. I love this. Has been a homecoming weekend for many people of sorts, and what's crazy now is the majority of my college friends, of two college friend groups, one is from the Rogers area and the other are from Texas and whatnot. And one of them, none of them live here. So it's a big deal when they're all back in town. And there's about 3 or 4 of them back. So we'll go meet up after the spring game and get into our old ways, our old stupidity, basically. But I'm excited for later on today. But it was fun last night. I saw a few people.
Man, Dixon on a game weekend. I would imagine that the Tennessee game got Dixon hopping. I've been down there a couple of times, and it's fun, man. There's very few places like Dixon Street, 6th Street in Austin's like that on a game day. But there's very, very few places in the world on a game day like Dixon Street.
Well, while you were not at the game, Christian and I got to attend yesterday. And Christian, full disclosure, that is the first regular season baseball game that I've attended that I have not been inebriated at for probably 7 years. I'm just being perfectly honest. I don't do that for postseason. Most of the time, I'm sitting in the outfield and sucking down natural light. It was really cool to sit behind the dugout yesterday, and I know you and I were noticing some things. I loved watching Bobby Werniss and Dave Van Horn communicate, watching the other players kind of talk to each other. When Tavian hit that shot to right center, it was great. But what did you take in their win yesterday where it didn't start out too hot?
Yeah, I think they showed a lot of grit yesterday because, like you said, it did not start out great at all, giving up 2 runs just like that. Gave up a run on a balk, actually. And I was like, oh, no, it might be a long night. And then, the pitching settled in really well after that. Holland pitched great. His pitch count got up there, but he was able to go, I think, 6 complete innings. And then Hagen Smith, right after him, 3 scoreless innings. I mean, it was great. Got a lot of timely hits. That Josenberger home run, man, that got the energy going in the ballpark. And it was a great win, and I'm looking forward to this series, seeing how it turns out, because I think Tennessee might have got a little rattled last night.
No, they did a little bit, but don't count them out. They're going to be ready to play starting at 6 o'clock tonight. And, again, what Hunter Holland was able to do after giving up a first bat home run and then, again, give up another run in that inning to come back and really just start shoving. And then Hagen Smith, I don't remember how many strikeouts he ended up with last night. I was thoroughly impressed how he came in and just shut the door completely on the Tennessee Volunteers. One of the things I was talking with Tommy and Chuck about this week, Zach, is with him kind of shifting roles, because he originally was your Friday night guy. Holland was your Sunday guy. And then Holland's taking over the first. Hagen's kind of taking over that Brady Taggart role. Assuming Brady comes back healthy, Arkansas is going to have kind of a nice luxury with different roles that you could put these guys in.
But what do we know about Dave Van Horn? It's week to week. It's game to game as far as his pitching staff goes. If you've been effective in the bullpen, you could be a Friday night starter come Omaha, come a regional or a super regional.
Good point.
It's week to week. It's game to game. It's Dave goes with who has the hot hand. He's a lot like Musselman in that regard, where he trusts certain guys and they're going to get the ball in the big spots. A midweek game against Euler, nobody cares. Tennessee, hey, if you got a hot hand, you're going to pitch, and that's the way he's done it the last couple of years, and I don't see that changing at all. Hagen Smith's the guy. Holland's the guy. If he pulls somebody out of the pen who hasn't started, if Austin Ledbetter one day, he thinks Austin Ledbetter's a good matchup, he's going to throw him.
Yeah.
And that's just the way Dave is. He figures his offense can get you enough runs. They just have to keep it under 3 or 4, and everything's going to be just fine.
Tony Vitello was actually plus 100 on the Bet Saracen app and getting tossed yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that, and it wasn't going to happen last night. Now, if they lose today, I'd put some money down that he gets tossed on Sunday. Because you're down 2-0, things aren't going well. He's ready to explode. I would put some money down on Sunday.
I watched some of that Tennessee Volunteers baseball team last year, and you think about their pitching and their hitting. Not too many times do you see a team that's strong at both ends. And of course, your Fighting Irish got the better of them in Knoxville. And ended up going to Omaha while Tennessee sat at home. There was this picture of Vitello's tears with free water bottles outside of Omaha, which I don't know if an Arkansas fan did or whatever, but that was quite entertaining. This team, the team this year is LSU. I think that you look at both sides, what they have pitching and hitting, it's great. Now they fall to Kentucky last night. You also had South Carolina going to Vandy and getting a win. So some kind of
South Carolina's that's a good baseball team.
Yeah, it's a really good baseball team.
But here's the thing about Vitello. They operate like a football team in a lot of ways, in that they're so emotional and they play on such an edge that if they're not at that peak level, they just come out flat. I think that's what happened to them in the Supers last year, was they couldn't maintain that that edge that they'd had all season. This year's team's very, very different. They're terrible on defense. I mean, they can't field a ground ball to save their lives.
That was surprising.
They're really, really bad on defense, and it's the thing that's going to haunt them this series, next series. They're going to be lucky right now at 5-8 in the conference. They're going to be lucky right now if they make a regional. The back half of their schedule is not easy, and if they continue on this trajectory, Tennessee will not be in the postseason, and I don't think anybody's upset about that.
Well, Arkansas schedule, it's what, Georgia, then A&M, and then I think South Carolina
and
then Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So really, you have, and listen, you could go to Athens and get beat. We saw Georgia beat Kentucky and sweep them. A&M with Schlossnagel's never going to beat easy out, but they're not great this year.
They're struggling.
Yeah, and so if you can find a way to close out either the game today or the game tomorrow and beat Tennessee of 2 or 3 or sweep them for that matter.
2 out of 3, man. You win 2 out of 3, you're going to win. You're going to be in really, really good shape.
It sets up nicely for those 2 remaining games, which are going to be brutal against the Gamecocks.
Those last 2 weekends, the last 6 games, you're going to know exactly where this team is.
Yeah.
They didn't handle LSU very well. And then those 2 teams are probably 2 and 3, and Arkansas's probably in that mix. Those are the top 4 teams in the league.
Yeah.
If you go down there and you fall flat on your face, okay, we got some concerns. You go down there, you compete, you play well, man, you got a chance.
No. 877-377-6963, our number to call or text in. It is Arkansas Game Day, so let's jump back into football for a sec. We were talking wide receivers a little bit. Let's go to the offensive line. Now, Ricky Stromberg was the centerpiece. He was your mainstay.
Right.
He was your all-SEC.
He's your quarterback on the offensive line.
He was your All-American of sorts. And now you're having to shift a little bit. Bo Limmer moves over to center. You still got Brady Latham there at the guard position. But the other three, you're still, again, fans are still wondering who that's going to be. That's not to say that Pittman and Cody Kennedy don't know who those guys are, but there's still a lot of question marks from the fan base on who's going to fill those roles.
It's a really young group past Limmer, Latham, and Crawford. I mean, it's a really young group, and left tackle is once again going to be one of those issues. Last year they went with Luke Jones for a while. How badly did they miss what was his name? Myron Cunningham. The left tackle. He played really well in their in the Outback Bowl year. Last year they took probably a step backwards. They're going to have to find themselves a left tackle. In this league, man, you can't block at the line of scrimmage, you're in trouble. Yeah. And you better have really good athletic tackles, both right and left. And, your interior guys have to be good. I feel good about, Crawford, Limmer, and Latham in the interior, however you want to shuffle them around. It's those two outside spots that make me a little bit nervous.
And with those offensive line, you think about not just KJ's running ability, but Rocket Sanders, A.J. Green, Rashad Dubinion, and we'll see if Dominique Johnson, kind of what role he plays. Does Rocket have a legitimate case to be a Doak Walker Award winner as Darren was in 2007? I know you're not the biggest Darren fan, which I'm about to come across the cable and just beat the you-know-what out of you because I'm a D-Mac believer through
No,
and through.
It's not that I'm not a fan. He wasn't the best running back. He wasn't even the best running back in the country that year. He was a highlight film, but that's that notwithstanding. Here's the thing on the tackles.
Say AP?
The guy from Central Florida ran for like 2,400 yards that year.
Yeah, and in the Conference of the Poor.
I'm just saying. I mean, there were like 10 guys ahead of him. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, gosh.
The
going well.
The tackles, you brought it up. The tackle spots, as much as they like to get to the outside and run the outside zones, you can't block them at the tackle spots. They're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Feel good about the interiors. You run your pin and pulls on the inside, you're fine. It's when you get if you can't pin those defensive ends and you can't seal the edge, you're going to have problems. And then you're relying on guys to break tackles. And Rocket's probably good for one missed tackle, but if you're asking him to dodge 2, 3, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's not easy to do for anyone. I think Blake Corum's probably got the edge right now, running back for Michigan, but you got Rocket definitely in that top five category.
There's the Doak Walker thing. Call me in October. And the key, the other key is you got to have they're not going to give it to a guy on a 5-7 team.
That's a good point.
You got to be in the 8, 9, 10 win team because you've got to capture some national attention. If you ask me why Darren McFadden didn't win the Heisman, it's because he didn't have a Heisman moment. You got to capture the national attention. Troy Smith did in the biggest game of the year. He was very, very good. Sorry, that's the truth.
Yeah, they were also on like 10 ESPN games. Arkansas was on like 1 or 2.
McFadden was terrible in the SEC title game.
They didn't get
terrible.
He didn't get any help because Florida just keyed in, and Arkansas unfortunately did not have a lick of a passing
Then you
game.
admit that having that moment is a big deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
so you think about Joe Burrow against Bama,
absolutely.
Cam Newton against LSU and Bama. I mean, you look at
Cam Newton against Alabama, the comeback.
Yeah, the comeback.
You gotta have that moment, and if you're not playing in big games, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's why, for me, Caleb Williams winning it, I was thinking about what he did. I don't watch a ton of Pac-12 football, but this was the first Heisman in nearly probably 20 years that I haven't watched just because I didn't care. I didn't want Caleb. I said Hendon Hooker should have been there. I was strong Hendon Hooker guy, unfortunately.
But you can't lose 63-35 South Carolina.
ACL.
Can't happen.
Yeah, and that's something.
And the Caleb Williams was the lesser of 5 evils. There wasn't a clear guy last year. And congratulations to Caleb Williams. He's your Heisman winner. But you talk about having the Heisman moment. You've got to play in big games if you're going to win the national awards because people don't think of Rocket Sanders as one of the top running backs in the country outside of the borders of this state. You've got to make him aware of that. He can put up all the numbers he wants. If he's not playing in big games, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, speaking of big games, we're watching the Ohio State spring game as we speak, and they're having to transition from C.J. Stroud to whoever will be their starting quarterback. They've still got
They'll be all right.
Yeah, they've still got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the best wide receiver in all of college football. So a lot of talent. I'm seeing Ryan Day get pretty animated there. There's a lot of spring games going on. I know that
25 Power 5.
Are there really today?
Yeah, 25. Going today.
We hone in on the SEC schools, but this is going to be one that a lot of national people pay attention to. being Ohio State what they are. All right, still a lot to get to here on Arkansas Game Day. Again, Carter, we haven't had a call just yet. We've had plenty of text to this point, but if you have any thoughts on this game in about 30 minutes, again, it's going to get going about 12:20, or the baseball game last night and tonight. You can talk softball, you can talk basketball, plenty of recruiting news this week. Jump in here. More Arkansas Game Day coming up.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They are loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Has your wife started talking about having a hot girl summer? Does she keep adding hashtag YOLO to her social media posts? Is she spending more time with her new trainer than with you? It might be time to discuss what a divorce would mean for you and your family. Mock Legal Solutions is here to help. We offer flat fees and payment plans. Don't let hot girl summer sneak up on you. Call us today for a free consultation. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot values at any of our 4 locations. Boston or asparagus fern baskets only $11.99. Bengal wasp and hornet spray $2.99. And this weekend only 40-pound bags of topsoil just $1.99 per bag. Limit 20. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com. Yeager's Ace Hardware, offering real service with real savings.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 72 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ going to keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
All right, another 20 minutes or so of Arkansas Game Day. He's Zach Arns, Ty Richardson, Christian Johnston, making sure we are on air across ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
I got to tell you,
as well.
We're sitting here watching the Ohio State game, and boy, I can feel the blood boiling a little. I hate Ohio State, and I can feel the blood boiling. I hate everybody during football season.
Yeah,
everybody. And, you see those silver helmets, the scarlet and gray, and it's just like, oh, it's football season.
Well, I thought it was cool that you shared with me. You're getting a chance to go to South Bend, and this was a trip that I know I haven't seen Tommy excited or more excited about a trip than going to South Bend when Arkansas was set to play there in against Notre Dame, and unfortunately that game was apparently rescheduled / not rescheduled.
26.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's the key on that. But that was the most excited I've ever seen him to go to a game or whatever, because he's more content on staying on the couch. But getting to see the Buckeyes in Notre Dame first week of the season, that's gonna be
I've seen them. I've seen them there before. It's I love big events, and a big game on any campus, to be honest, is an incredible experience. But when you get to really, really good programs, going head to head opening weekend, it'll be fun.
Well, we were talking about just kind of scheduling and whatnot, as we'll have Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction, of course, during the actual season itself. And just looking at Arkansas' schedule ahead, the Western Carolina game, again, it's in hometown of Little Rock, so I don't know if I'll get to go to that or not. That's not a huge deal for me to go to War Memorial Stadium. That doesn't do it for me like it used to back in the day. Plus, it's an opponent that I could not care less about. And Kent State, first game in Fayetteville, big deal. BYU should be entertaining, first bigger game in Fayetteville. And then it gets rough. I've got a buddy in Baton Rouge hoping to get a chance to go to Tiger Stadium for the first time. Of course, plenty of people stay with in Dallas. Ole Miss stay in Memphis. Got a buddy that's in law school at Alabama. Mississippi State's here this year. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, where the Florida Gators play, would be a fun atmosphere. Auburn's coming here. FIU's coming here. And then Missouri rounds out your schedule. But that stretch, Tommy, were talking about it earlier. You go to Baton Rouge, to Dallas, to Oxford, to Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Four straight weeks.
4 straight road trips.
Yeah. I mean, SEC did not help you out at all. Throw a bye in there.
Well, you also, you kind of shot yourself in the foot in one of those games by scheduling the game down at Jerry's World. That's on you. But yeah, I mean, this is the schedule is soft from a non-con standpoint.
Yeah,
really soft. But going to Ben Hill Griffith, going down to Gainesville is, I don't care what situation Gainesville or the Gators find themselves in. It's a tough place to play if they're right. Baton Rouge is going to be really, really difficult. Tuscaloosa's Tuscaloosa. It's a tougher conference schedule. The non-con, you should win all 4 of those games. If you don't, everybody starts signaling the alarm.
Yeah. Tommy's asked the question as well, can you win every home game this year? And those are, we'll count Little Rock in the home games, the 4 non-conference, including BYU, which is not going to be easy by any stretch. But I think Jaron Hall's graduated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so he won't be able to play this year. He's a good quarterback that you saw firsthand this past season. And then you've got, again, Mississippi State and Auburn and Missouri all in Fayetteville, games that on paper you look like you should win. Mississippi State with Will Rogers. We'll see how Robbie Ashford looks under Hugh Freeze, assuming he's the QB.
That's the team, I don't know where – Auburn's always got talent. I don't know that the talent's always going in the same direction. But Hugh Freeze has a way, and he has coached in this league before and obviously came in last year and pulled off the upset. Uh-huh. He has a way of getting the most out of his players.
Yeah.
And he'll do, they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to win big, but they're going to win. And, it's quick. How quickly do they start? I'm very curious to see what they come up with. LSU's going to be, I'm telling you, man, I've got a buddy of mine that covers LSU, and I've got some friends of mine from back in South Bend that know that follow Brian Kelly a little bit. Man, when BK runs unchecked and they've opened the checkbook down there, I mean, they are getting player after player after player. I mean, they're top 5, I think, in the recruiting classes coming into the 24 cycle. They're going to be a problem, and you're going to have to get ready for them. And going down to Baton Rouge and playing, it's probably going to wind up being a night game.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times you've gone to a night game down there. I went once, and that was enough.
That was enough for you. Clay's told me the story of him getting hit in the head with the whiskey bottle. I still want to go. Again, what my friend does, Daniel, he lives down there, and big time Arkansas fan. He'll go to Fred's, which is the big LSU place, and wear red every single game. And people always look at him, it's like, why are you wearing an Arkansas shirt? He's like, well, I'm from Fayetteville. And then when winning down there, he said, was one of the greatest days and nights of his entire life. And he was scared for his life, but he said there's been no greater day than that.
I've walked out of that stadium with my team on the bigger side of the scoreboard.
On the high side.
On the good side of the scoreboard, and, boy, they don't like that. Boy, they do not like that one bit.
It's a lot of fun. Well, today, later on, it really won't matter which team wins, whether it's the red, whether it's the white. You just want to see certain things. And, again, we've got one more segment coming up, and we'll react more. We've talked plenty today. One thing we haven't touched on just yet is special teams. You know what you have in Cam Little. I'm curious whether it's more Bryce Stevens or Isaiah Satania lining up at punt returner. But this kind of went under the radar a little bit. You weren't good at punting last year.
No.
And even when you'd have chances to pin the opponents well inside the 10-yard line, it seemed like it always bounced around the 25 or 20. You've got to see some more consistency from Mac Fletcher this year.
You got to get to and you will. I mean, that comes with the experience and another year in the program, another year in the weight program, and it's a very underrated part of the game. It's a hidden part of the game, hidden yardage. You know, you instead of pinning somebody at the 9, you give them the ball at the 20. That's, you lose 11 yards in that, and that's something that they were not great at last year. You'd like to see more returns in the punt game and the kick game. Again, setting up field position. Those are things that obviously Scott Fountain's got to work on. They weren't bad in the Outback Bowl year. Maybe took a step back last year as far as special teams went. Got some kicks blocked again. Had a fake pulled on him.
Felt like Morrison.
Yeah, that stuff's got to stop. I mean, this is year 3.
It was weird. 2 years ago, you think about the Blake Kern fake. You think about the Cam Little game winner.
They were rolling 7s all the time. And last year was just
the opposite.
It was a disaster at times.
I mean, we spoke to it a little bit earlier. Last season as a whole, everything that could have gone your way didn't.
Right.
There was one thing that you needed during the course of a game. Outside of maybe Missouri State when Rocket took that little shovel about 75 or 80 yards, everything that you needed to go the opposite way went
the year before, everything went your way.
Yeah.
Phil Steele talks about this all the time. He talks about law of averages and things, where you get the bounce one year, you don't get the bounce the next year. It evens out over time.
And Arkansas being what they are in terms of the depth and stuff, you always need those little extra.
You got to be very, very sound.
Yep. All right, last segment here coming up on Arkansas Game Day, brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC. One more segment with Zach Arns, Ty Richardson, and Christian Johnston when we return.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
This is Arkansas Game Day.
Spring fishing is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear you need for a great day of fishing. Rods, reels, bait and tackle, clothing, footwear, and rain gear. Brands like Shimano, Frog Togs, Daiwa, G Loomis, Luz, Falcon, Sixth Sense, JB3, Bobby Garland, X-Man, Rebel, ACC Rods, Favorite, Todd Huckabee Rods, and many more. Old Town fishing kayaks are ready to go for spring. Hey, shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors for all your fishing needs in Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Arkansas Game Day. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
KJ gonna keep the football at the 10. Jefferson to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
All right, last segment here on Arkansas Game Day. Really appreciate Zach Arns being around with me. Since we are in the Ruskin Zach studios, I'm going to – that's the gavel.
You play with the gavel, yeah. You got the bell.
That's the bell.
Yeah, the
and then this is
the bullhorns
Derek's.
over there, yeah.
All right, I want to see if I can do this. How do you do this?
You turn it on.
How do you turn it on?
Right there where it says
speak,
and then you're talking – oh, jeez.
Oh, that's the battery. Test. How do you –
Here. Let me help you out with that. See what you do.
You would think the young.
You talk into it like
this. Oh,
this.
you talk into it like that. All right. Derek's really good at this.
Well, yeah.
You talk into it like that. There we go. All right,
go.
cool. Well,
So
you guys have a bunch of gadgets and gizmos. I have a ref whistle, which Tommy gave me for Christmas.
Make sure and turn that off. We're on a
low
battery. Yeah, well, we don't have a battery budget anymore.
Okay, and Tommy.
We blew the entire budget on the horn.
Did you? Well, I've got the ref whistle. I've also got the turkey call that Alan Everett, a Big Creek Trading Company, gave me. But you guys use them more conducively in your shows than I do in mine.
Because we're
children. Typically the bell has said something after something derogatory is said
well,
at my expense.
That's how we mark the tape, just in case anybody has a question.
Well, that's smart, honestly. I write it down by hand, which is a lot slower than that way you get the sound signal. But plenty of gadgets and gizmos. I like the footballs and everything else. But it's been a good 2 hours thus far. Again, Arkansas, the spring game gets going at about 12:20. I think it'll go on TV at 12. And again, we got a question earlier, Zach. ESPN, SEC Network Plus.
Yes.
Right here coming up. You'll hear Chuck. You'll hear Quinn. You'll hear Gino as well. And that's what we have to look forward to. Probably, what do you say, about 2 hours of this thing?
Yeah, I would think 90 minutes. I don't know if they're on a play count or not, but I think 90 minutes is probably what you're going to get out of them.
I told myself I'd work about 5 hours today. I'd do the 2 hours with you, go to the spring game, take that in as best I can, go to Sam Pittman's press conference.
Okay, that's work.
And then, then no work after that.
You heading to Dixon afterwards?
That is the plan.
All right.
That is the plan. There's actually I didn't notice this. They've actually done some more outdoor stuff with Dixon, which I always thought was capable of that. But you've got some more, I don't know if I'd call them beer gardens, but kind of in that line.
Well, it's nice out now.
Yeah.
So you can go. My favorite places are the rooftop places, just so I can people watch.
Yeah, it's fun. By
That's
the way,
how I do it.
Last thing, and Derek will like this as well. There was a guy last night in a cowboy hat. It was not me, and he was probably, most of the crowd that's there is under 30. This guy's well above 40 years old, and he had a tall bush light in his hand and sat in the back, and people watched for 3 hours.
That's what we do, man. That's what old people do, man.
He was just dancing and just didn't have any buddies around or anything. It was just people watching.
And you know what? He went home. He went to bed. He woke up this morning, felt great.
And felt great. Well, again, it's been a good show. Appreciate Ag Up Equipment, Precision Overhead Door, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC for being our sponsors of pre- and post-game. For Zach Arns and Christian Johnson, I'm Ty Richardson. Chuck Barrett is next.
Ag Up Equipment wants to be your partner with every outdoor project.